Hello. I'm not sure what day it is. Again, I'm getting good at that. I think it's day 20. Could be day 21. But either way, I think it's day 21. Either way, I've left Warm River and promptly had to go uphill. All the way uphill to start the day off. Big open prairie land, which is nice. Had a good sleep. That, I think, in the far distance, if you can make it out, those big towering spires, is the Tetons, which are in Wyoming. So in theory, 18 miles into today, I leave Idaho, cross into Wyoming, let the big lorry go by. So 63 miles down to Coulter Bay, where there's a campsite, about $15 apparently, but for an extra $5 you get a shower, which would be lovely. The river was absolutely swarming with mosquitoes last night, so there was no way I was getting in there. But I had a good night's sleep, and the host let me just power up my phone a little bit this morning. And there was also a big cycling tour thing going on where they carry all the kit for the family, and the family just do a bike ride. But they invited me over for a bit of breakfast this morning, so I had some French toast and bacon and a couple of cups of coffee, which was awesome. So really pleased with that. Met another Brit, Max, in the campsite. He's going northbound, but he gave me some good advice about my route ahead. So yeah, he's up on his way through that horrible sand that I did yesterday, and I'm up over a lot of hills today. Sorry for filming by the side of the road, but it's all road for the first 5 miles or so, which is okay, apart from the hilly bit. I think I've got something like 4,000 foot of climbing today, and that's pretty much the first half of the day is going uphill, which will be pretty miserable. And then I think the last 8 miles or so is on a road just into the campsite, but hopefully it won't be too bad midweek, so enjoying it. So right, let's press on up the road. Well, good morning on day 22. You're probably thinking, hang on, he was 5 miles in on the motorway yesterday. Well, plans changed. So I came about 12 miles, which got me to Squirrel Creek Elk Ranch, which I'd planned on stopping at for breakfast if they were open. Well, they were open. And Molly and Aaron were here, and I sat and had some breakfast with them, which was very pleasant. And I was absolutely pooped. And I thought, why am I pushing? I got my days wrong. I thought that actually I was going to do Coulter Bay yesterday and Pinedale was the next day, and it wasn't. It's 3 days away, and I'd booked myself a accommodation with a family there, and I was going to have a rest day and everything. And I thought, no, I've now got to know another 3, maybe 4 days before I get there, and I just didn't have it in my legs. So I sat and had my breakfast and a cup of coffee and thought about it, and then realised that one of the reasons I probably come across as quite unhappy and tired is that I am tired. I'm not unhappy, but I'm tired and I haven't got the energy to be frivolous and happy. I don't know if I've ever had that, but anyway. So I made a decision to stop. Now, for me, that's a big thing. I'm not good at stopping, I'm not good at ceasing the challenge. But what I really needed was the energy to continue. So I chatted with the hosts, Shailene and Todd, and they said, yep, we've got a cabin free, you can have that. So I opted for the cabin. When I say cabin, it's like a blinking hotel. It's certainly better than the Motel 6 I stayed in the other day, for only slightly more money. So I had a lazy day. There's a couple of other cyclists. One popped in midway through the day, and believe it or not, is from Poundbury, which is about 3 miles from where I live. So I chatted with him for a bit, although to be honest I really wanted to go and have a nap, so that wasn't brilliant. So I came into this cabin with its lounge and its TV and its kitchen and its facilities, and a very loud fridge freezer, but that's okay. A washer dryer in that room there, and then a bed and a bathroom through there. So I stayed here and just did all my admin. I got everything clean, scrubbed my sleeping mat, scrubbed everything, charged absolutely everything, even the little batteries that don't get used very often. Everything got charged, and when that was done, I went over and had another cheeseburger. Seems to be standard fare at the moment, and I'm not the world's greatest cheeseburger fan, but anyway, had a cheeseburger and then came back, and I actually sat and watched a bit of telly, a bit of baseball on the telly, got myself to bed about 8 o'clock and slept through until 6. So I've had a good night's sleep. I'm still going to try and make Coulter Bay today, which is now only 50 miles away, but I feel a lot cleaner and a lot happier and a lot healthier, and that's good. And I think that's really important. That I think I put in my post last night, I've got to remember it's about the journey, got to be more upbeat, which is probably a mantra for life for me, but it's been okay. It's been a good break, and you know what, when I get to Pinedale, I think I'm going to have another rest day, and I'm going to spend a day where I'm in a town and I can go to a coffee shop and I can chill out and all the rest of the bits that go with that. So not really sorry about the lack of footage yesterday. Wasn't a lot to show you. You've seen Squirrel Ranch. I'm going to go over in a moment. They're going to do some breakfast. I'm going to have some breakfast, and then I'm going to push on to Coulter Bay, and I'm absolutely sure I will pick up with you along the road. So I'll see you later. You take care now. Idaho, Wyoming, gravel track, 8 and a bit miles in, not too bad. Just stopped and spoke to a couple of northbounders who were much more upbeat than the fella I spoke to last night. Restored my faith in continuing onwards, which is fantastic. Just bumped into a Canadian gentleman over here who's come all the way from Jasper, so he's having a good ride as well. We're both going to Coulter Bay tonight, so that's nice. I'm hoping we'll ride together, but it very much depends on his pace and my pace. But if not, we'll probably meet up in Coulter Bay and grab a coffee and discuss plans, and that's always good for the spirit. So yeah, good day so far. Some challenges ahead, but that's okay. We like a challenge. Sorry, I'm batting mosquitoes like it's going out of favour. They seem to have found this 1-inch spot on my elbow, and every now and then the same place gets stung, and it's murderous. But anyway, good morning so far. Had some breakfast, some nice pancakes again, got on the road. I'm only 9 miles in, but I'm feeling good, travelling well, so onwards and upwards. Hello again. Well, I've just come down that sandy monstrosity there. Quite tricky actually. Not as bad as the black sand of the day before, but quite unpleasant just to try and keep the wheels under you, but it's been good. Stopped at the top, met a American couple, Sam and Amanda, relayed a lot of tales, and they're enjoying it as much as me, which is to say it's a type 2 fun that causes you pain but makes you smile afterwards. But yeah, it's been a good day so far. The big challenges are out of the way. I've got a couple of little rollers left, but that's okay. I'm still about 10 miles from Flag Ranch, which is my sort of provisions and fill up spot, but I just thought I'd stop here. Some accessible water. I'm going to filter out a litre of water here. I was going to wait to Flag, but I think I'll do it here, because sometimes actually the filtered water tastes better than some of the stuff you're getting out of the taps. It's less treated and things like that, so that's all good. But I just thought I ought to share this. Look at this for a place to stop. I'm going to grab myself a nutty bar while I'm here, but it's just idyllic, absolutely lovely. Gave the bike a hose down yesterday while I was staying at Squirrel Creek, and it rained a bit on me on the way, so she's gone brown again, but that's okay. So yeah, it's been a good day. I'm tired despite having a massive sleep in a cabin, but you know, why wouldn't you be tired? You're riding great distances, it's no big thing. You've just got to grin and bear it and get on with it and enjoy it actually. And been better at looking at the scenery today. A little bit closed in, as you can see, with the trees, but saw a beautiful finch. There's no way I could get a photo of it, but it was primarily blacky brown. I couldn't quite make out, but it had just a a dandelion yellow body and chest, and then a bright red flash on its head. Ever so pretty, but as I say, wouldn't sit still long enough to have its photo taken, but that's all right. So I'm gonna get some water, grab a bite to eat, and then I'm going to push on to Flag Ranch, where I'm going to provision for the next couple of days, and then the remainder of the day I think is pretty much downhill to the campsite. I think there's a bit of highway involved, but that's all good. The sun's out, the rain has stopped, and despite being near the water, it's the first time today I haven't been eaten alive by mozzies, although I'm now scratching like a demon. But that's what it is, it's you're near the water. Somebody told me actually after Pinedale, which is 3 days or so away from here, that the mosquitoes end. I'll take that with a pinch of salt and a pair of crossed fingers, and hope it comes that way. But anyway, I'll catch up with you later. Thought I'd very briefly just take a quick video of this landscape. It's just bizarre. It's like riding through a ghost forest. I presume they've all been burned at some stage, but there's very few black ones. They're all white. It's like something out of an elvish nightmare, but yeah, very surreal to ride through. But countryside is opening up in front of me. Some massive mountains over there, the snow on them. I'm doing that while riding uphill, that was difficult. And I'm a couple of miles from Flag Ranch, where I'm hoping to re-provision on water and stuff, so I'm going to push on from there. But weird. Good morning from Coulter Bay campsite. I've rushed away from the campsite. It's forested. It's very much like this, flatter. There's a hiker bike section, which I got into very late last night, about 7:30. I sat with a couple of Canadian riders and wolfed a slice or two of pizza, but the mosquitoes were just feasting on me, and I just couldn't be bothered to video. I shot over, got my tent up, crawled in and crashed out, not even having time to charge anything or the wherewithal to do it, which is okay. So I got up this morning, packed up early, and then got a big restaurant, and I went for the old continental buffet. I have massive bowls of fruit and granola and muffins and everything, which is fabulous. So all packed up, ready to go. It's a huge campsite. They've got an RV park, a tent park, a hiker bike park, a big convenience store, big restaurant. It's all a bit commercial, but it was wonderful. A couple of people I know have spent 24 hours here yesterday. I sat with Jeff at breakfast, and he's probably going to go where I'm going to go. But I think maybe the disappointment of yesterday, and it's not a big disappointment, is I forgot to video as I came along the highway, mainly because it was quite busy and I just wanted to keep my hands on the bars. I stopped and took loads of photos, which you might have seen on the post. But I thought before I got going, I've just had a lovely video call with Nate. It's absolutely fantastic to chat, and saw the family and the little doggy, which was great. But I just thought, having missed it yesterday, I really ought to show you what this place is about. Now, excuse the fact that you're looking at a marina, but how about this for your morning view of the Tetons? It goes on for miles seemingly. Absolutely stunning. I can see the attraction. I'd rather have a boat here than in Monaco, I think. I'd like to have the money to have either, but that's not the point. But what a wonderful place to wake up. Pretty tired, didn't sleep well, mainly because I was just itching because of the mozzies. They have destroyed me. You could read my legs in braille, I think. That's part of it. So today is 45 miles. First 20 miles are pretty flat. Quite a bit of highway, unfortunately. And then the next 25 miles are not flat. It's a Cat 1 climb, and it's about 20 miles long. But that's all right. We'll do a bit of walking, that'll be good. Take some pressure off the saddle sores, and get myself up to the top. And then there's a campground right by a lake. I suspect I'll have the same problem with mozzies again, but I'm getting used to it. It's literally a quick cook everything you can, dive in your tent, eat it in there, pack down. If it's a campsite, it's usually got bear boxes like I did last night, which is great. people tend to leave things in bear boxes, I've discovered. I found an unused bear spray, and then one of the other riders had packed up early and just left a note and said, don't need this, help yourself. And there was a load of granola bars and bits and bobs. I didn't need any, but it's a nice way of doing it, which is good. But other than that, yeah, I'm all good to go. Eaten breakfast, charged everything, got the phone charged up because I said I didn't get a chance yesterday, but I was able to use the plugs here and the Wi-Fi and get everything done. Comments about the fact that my beard has changed dramatically in the last 3 weeks, and I've been here 4 weeks come Monday, and I'm totally out of touch now for at least 48 hours. It probably won't be till Monday evening that I get into Pinedale when I'll be able to get some more Wi-Fi and power. But I'm going to take Sunday evening, and I'm going to take a day off again on Monday and just rest my body and stay with a host and get everything charged up. But for now, that's it for today. Go and get some, sorry for the morning, I'm going to go and get some water, top my bottles up and get on the trail, and hopefully I will see you later. Well, this is very pleasant, isn't it? So I've pulled in because I've been on the highway all the way, and there were some restrooms at this little creek where you can launch a boat. There's a couple of gentlemen fishing down there. The scenery's been fabulous. There's an Asian couple over there, a couple of couples actually, really nice. The young lady spoke English. Looked over my bike and asked me if I was a YouTube influencer. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm putting it on YouTube. The influence ought to be, don't do this, it hurts, or do it because it hurts and it's awesome, which is probably the better way of looking at it. Actually, it is fantastic here. I didn't take a video about 5-10 minutes ago, again looking out over the river, but there was a coyote on the far bank. I mean, I've taken a couple of snaps with a camera, but there were people there with these enormous lenses. There was a coyote who'd just taken a goose and was sat on the far bank having its breakfast, lunch, brunch, which was awesome to see, but I couldn't get it on the camera, too far away. But anyway, thought I'd just stop in here, share the river view with you, and then going to push on. Got to turn off the highway in a couple of miles and hopefully onto a quieter road. So I'll speak to you later. Good afternoon. That's almost the end of the first big challenge of the day. A little bit more to go, another 38 metres, quarter of a mile. Been a lot of pushing involved there. Old man legs 3 weeks in. Which is okay, it's been good. There's a cabin up there actually. I don't know whether I'll go past it, but if I do I might just see if they've got any fresh water. I've pretty much exhausted 2 bottles coming up. I just wanted to, maybe you've seen in my posts, I'm not brilliant at wildlife. I just, you know, as most of you watching have grown up in Dorset, it's a beautiful county. And this place has just got some stunning wildflowers. I mean, I hope you can pick out the whites and pinks, the yellows down the way. There have been some amazing red plants with like green spikes on them, thistles that are almost white with green tips. It's been really beautiful to have a good look at. You get a lot better look when you're walking past them, so it's been good. So first big challenge to say out of the way. I've still got about 14-15 miles to go. I suppose the only downside of this big push is there is no downhill today. It's all up, and I've still got 3 more climbs to go. So a little bit more walking, a little bit more pushing. But I suppose the best thing is it started to rain about halfway up, so I stopped and dragged the coat out and put it on, and it spat a little bit. But as you can see up ahead, grey clouds, but behind blue, Tetons towering in the background. Absolutely lovely, and the grey clouds are blown away faster than I can walk and push, so it's looking like I might get the rest of the afternoon dry. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that, and let's keep going. Well, good morning from Brooks Lake. Ah dear, I struggled yesterday afternoon. It got really hot. I'm going to keep wiping the lens, so you'll have to excuse me. We got a frost, so it got really hot yesterday afternoon. There was a big hill on the road, and that's okay in its own right, and I suddenly ran out of energy. I was like, oh, my legs don't work. And anyway, I got to the top of the hill, got off of there, and then the last 4 miles to the campsite were just a dirt road. Only it had rained. It was just a mud bath. I slid and slod and tripped, and oh my god, the bike was a big brown mess. My shoes looked like brown boots. Couldn't clip in, had to use the reverse of the pedals, for which I'm eternally grateful for having dual-sided pedals. Anyway, I got to Brooks Lake, which is the campsite over there, which was horrendously noisy, very busy, and Mosquito City. And I just happened to ask if anyone had seen Jeff and the lady that he was riding with, and they said, oh yeah, they've gone on to Pinnacle. So I took the little lake road for another mile and got to Pinnacle, which is just another campground on Brooks Lake, and found Jeff and Fenella. So Fenella's in a tent, Jeff's over there, Bear Box is there, and we all had a meal together here yesterday evening. Got the tent up, and I was in bed at 9:30, but very tired. And they raised a really good point about whether I'm eating right, whether I'm eating enough protein and carbs, and you kind of forget how much more you've got to eat. So I'm going to have a look at that today, think about what I'm putting down my gullet. There's not a lot I can do today, to be honest. I'm off to another wild camp tonight, and then Pinedale tomorrow. So when I get to Pinedale, if I make it that far, if I don't starve to death, obviously, then I shall have to have a look and reassess what I'm doing, and maybe do a bit of reading up and seeing what it is I'm supposed to be eating to keep my body going. But for now, I'm waiting for the sun to rise to try and dry the tent, and looking out over these wonderful big rocks that surround the camp, hoping the sun's going to come up over that lot in a minute, and get the tent away, and then get ready for another day. And I'll speak to you later. That distant line of rock you can see in the gap between the trees is what I was camped under last night. The scenery is pretty rocky, and so is the road. So, welcome back. Halfway up the first hill. First 8-9 miles were all downhill. Little climb out of the camp, but you know, 20 metres. And then all the way down a dirt track that thankfully had dried off, onto US 6, and down that for another 4 or 5 miles. Not quite so steep. And then turned right off of there and picked up this little lane here. And literally within 100 yards of coming off the highway, you're straight onto this. It's 450 metres, which in itself isn't too bad. I'm pushing at the moment, it's 17%, and I can't ride that. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is already beating down and melting. Got through the first bottle of water already, and I should be doing another one in a minute, and then hopefully I'll find a creek in a little while, because I need to keep hydrated today, keep it filtered up, and the bottle underneath is filthy, so I can wash that in the creek before I fill it with filtered water, and maybe just put a little bit of water over the drivetrain, because the carbon belt is squeaking quite a bit because it's so dry and probably impregnated with mud. So I'll try and get some water on that, and hopefully take the little mouse out of the flywheel that's been squeaking away at me all the way up. Wildlife wise, no butterflies yet. Saw one white-tailed deer leap across my track, and other than that, a couple of domesticated cows. So and a gopher. But then gophers are everywhere. They're like lampposts in town. So yeah, that's quite good, but a slow start. That's all right. Got to get to the top of this one and then literally drop down. I think it's something like 200-300 meters, and then the second half of this one, which is another 390 odd meters. So a lot of climbing early on, but this avoids the worst of Union Pass, which is a massive hill. You've got a couple of choices. You can go up the really steep side and add 10 miles to your journey. Thought about it. or you can go up the pretty steep side with a gap and another steep bit, but take 10 miles off your journey. Yes, that's for me, thank you very much. So heading for a place called Strawberry Shelter tonight. Apparently it's a hut. I had a message from one of the guys who spent the night there last night. He said it's absolutely brilliant. It's got a log fire and a support source of firewood, and I thought to myself, why on earth am I going to want a fire when I'm getting sunburned every day? And then remembered that we woke up with a frost on the tents this morning because of the altitude. So we're well over 3,000 meters yesterday, and it goes a little bit higher again today. So I shall have a look at the Garmin when I get signal, probably tomorrow night in Pinedale, and just work out what my highest altitude so far is. But it's pretty high up, and you notice it. It's certainly colder. The air is a tiny bit thinner, but you notice that, I suppose, when you're puffing up the hills. But anyway, can't stand here chatting all day. Well, I could, but I need to get to the top of this hill, so I'm going to leave you with the view, and I'm going to get pushing again. Well, welcome to Union Pass. I've just come over the top of it. The thunderclouds are a little concerning. I've got about 9-10 miles maybe to go. It is obviously all-terrain vehicle day in the US because everybody's out and it's dusty as heck, and I've been dusted completely, but most of them have been pretty nice and polite and respectful. I just thought I'd stop here briefly because I don't know what the weather's going to be like when I get to my campsite, and there's obviously been a recent fire, probably a lightning strike out here, I should imagine. You can see where it's been cut down to break it, and where you've got a mixture of burnt and green trees just beyond. So yeah, quite interesting. It must be fresh because I can smell the burnt wood still in the air. So the second hill was horrendous. It was 26%, very rocky for about 3 hours, I suppose. That was a really hard push. So push it 5 feet, lock the brakes on, walk up to get to it, and so on. So yeah, that was quite hard. But I've also done the third little hill, and then there's one very small one left, which I'm not at all worried about. And at the moment I've got about 3 miles to descend down to Union Pass Road. I don't know whether that's tarmac or gravel. I should imagine it's gravel, but we're going the right way. So yeah, I thought I'd just grab a quick breather, having got over the worst of the hills, and just take another look at all those mountains and the little Dutchman's patch of sunshine on the meadow there. I got a lovely photo earlier of some good cloud formations, so hopefully that'll come out all right. Well, welcome to the end of my day. Interesting, challenging. So the hill that I spoke to you last, top of that hill, said there was only a couple of little ones. That was absolutely fine. What I didn't know is the alternate trail that I was taking was part of the Tour Divide ride, which is not a problem. We knew there'd be a twist. That was the big push and the whatever. I thought that was it, and then the little trail that was maybe 2 miles long and just mud and puddles, and I'm not very good at that. And the side of my bike is honking, my kit is honking, I am honking. Slid off, didn't fall off, slid off twice, landed the second time with my thigh in the mud. But just met a bunch of Americans. They're all out for the 4th of July weekend, and I just stopped to say hello, and they thrust water upon me and a big bag of cheese and sausage and stuff like that, so that's great. So lots of protein and fats in there, that'll help. And I've rocked up at Strawberry Safety Shelter, where all are welcome. I thought that Fenella and Jeff would stop here, although Jeff did say he might have to push on because he was suddenly realising he was short on time. So there's a rest room, toilets over there. There is a huge amount of firewood there, and when you come in you are greeted with a wood stove, wood, an emergency sat phone, I'm hoping I don't need that, and a nice little shelter. So yeah, all good. I'm going to have a mooch about, see what's here, which is not much. You know, goodness sake, you don't need much. You're in out the thing, bit of cleaning gear, plenty of toilet rolls. So yeah, fabulous little stop. I'm going to bring the bike in, move the tables around. Don't need my tent tonight, which is great. Just put me a pad up and my quilt on it, and then tomorrow I'll look at it. I think it's around 50 miles tomorrow to Pinedale, where I've got accommodation booked with a host, and I can hopefully get everything washed. And let's face it, after today, everything needs a wash. I need a hose for the bike, a hose for the bags, probably a hose for me, to be fair. Certainly everything needs to go through. Need to get all this off before I cart it all into the shelter, but no harm, no foul. Didn't hurt anything, didn't break anything, and I've got here, and it looks like everyone else has gone on. It's 3 minutes to 4. I'm quite happy. I could go another 5 miles down the road to a campsite, or I could spend the night here in a warm shelter in the dry without having to put my tent up. And the thunder booms that are going on make me think that it's not going to be a dry night, so everything can come indoors with me. So that ends another day. I have no idea of numbers. I'm going to look them up later, and in the morning I'll say what day I'm on, but it's somewhere around 22, I think. It's a Saturday. I have no idea. I've no idea. But anyway, it's been a good day. I've enjoyed it. I'm hot and bothered. I definitely need to look at my diet on my day off in Pinedale and start getting some more protein in, because I'm finding I'm very tired after about 30 miles, and I obviously need to be able to do more than that on a daily basis. So we'll have a look at that, but I'm sure I can do that over a coffee and something in a nice shop on a day off. But tomorrow, pedal to Pinedale. I'll leave you with some thunderclouds.